Ladies and gentlemen, the NFL has made it official that Azeez Al-Shaair, a linebacker for the Houston Texans, will be suspended for 3 games. Jon Runyan, Vice President of NFL Fining and Punishment, basically released a long-ass statement about him being a multiple-time offender, and obviously this has happened before with different things. He's been fined, and a 3-game suspension felt needed, but it's that last sentence that we have highlighted there that is really going to be the thing that is going to draw some electrifying content. Your lack of sportsmanship and respect for the game of football in all those who play, coach, and enjoy watching it is troubling and does not reflect the core values of the NFL. Your continued disregard for NFL playing rules puts the health and safety of both you and your opponents in jeopardy and will not be tolerated. Okay, that's from an NFL exec, Jon Runyan, former player, to him in his announcement that he's getting suspended for 3 games. First of all, AJ, 3 games, I don't think anybody expected that. I thought maybe 2 would be max. 3 games, a lot. How do you feel about the messaging and the way it was delivered there to Azeez?
That was a bit interesting, was the wording of that. And of course, anybody that's paying attention, this is followed by the clip of Jon Runyan goring a 49ers player over the pile back when he was playing, which I don't blame him for that at all. You know, he was just playing. But it is interesting how they worded this. Like, I assumed, okay, they gave him 3 games. He's going to appeal and get it down to 2, most maybe 1. I don't know if that's the case. Now, like they're wording this so strongly, like to let you know, like this cannot happen. But also, side note, I love what Nick Caserio is doing to defend Shaair.
Okay.
I love what they're doing, the whole team. I know you're going to get to it, but I love that video of him, and I love them standing up for their guy.
Okay, to your point, D'Amico Ryans yesterday spoke about this and gave a full promo about, like, I am firmly on Azeez's side in this entire thing, which is he has had to say before. You know, D'Amico flew around, played linebacker, so he's literally been that. And he has the C. Azeez has the C on D'Amico's defense. So, like, he has a lot of belief and faith in him. And he said, you know, the whole conversation, he didn't necessarily say this particular one, but the whole conversation about sliding, when they slide, how they slide, how somebody's supposed to, what somebody's supposed to. I think we all agree that utilizing the brace with Trevor, with how he slid, a lot of people say that seemed to be a bit egregious. And then the multiple times of being fined by this 4 different hits and actions. But the way, here it is, here's the list that Get Up put together this morning and the fines that kind of accrued alongside of it. But that's the 5th time that Jon Runyan has kind of, seen something that has happened with him. Now, the wording at the end of that, to your point, general manager of the Houston Texans, friend of the program, Nick Caserio, took to the microphone to talk about it.
Quite frankly, it's unfair. And I'd say one of the biggest issues that, and I probably speak for a lot of teams, not only the Houston Texans, but I think that's all teams ask for is consistency from the league. And I'd say in this situation, I mean, quite frankly, there's no consistency at all relative to the level of discipline that's been handed down. So when you go back, let's look at this season. Okay, we had multiple situations, multiple examples. All right, 2 really good players, I would say. Branch ejected against Green Bay, right? Plays the next week against us. Okay, Derwin ejected, all right, got suspended for 1 game. And Derwin's a great player, and Derwin's had some other situations that have come up. And I'd say even going back here, a player that we know well organizationally here, Kareem Jackson. Kareem's a good player. Was ejected, fined, ejected, and then suspended after 3 games. So we're going to say Azeez Al-Shaair, who nobody embodies our program more than Azeez. What he's about, what he's been through, you all know his story. There's not a more selfless individual, more about the team who's earned the respects, that represents everything that we want this program to be about. I mean, this morning he was at a United Way event. So we're talking about some of the commentary that has been made about his character, about the person that he is, about what his intentions are, from people that, quite frankly, don't know anything about Azeez Al-Shaair, okay? And for the league to make some of the commentary that they made about lack of sportsmanship, lack of coachability, lack of paying attention to the rules, quite frankly, it's embarrassing. So I think the big thing from and they talk about a player who's never been suspended, never been ejected. So now we're saying that he's going to be suspended for 3 games. So, look, it is what it is. I think the big thing from our standpoint, and all teams want this, is just some level of consistency. And we've talked to the league, quite frankly, but we don't have a good explanation. D'Amico talked to them yesterday. So, I mean, it is what it is.
So, very grainy footage from an Ari Mirov tweet, and we certainly appreciate Ari having his ear to the ground on everything that's happening everywhere in the NFL and ripping and clipping and posting, because this is just his media meeting, and who knows when we would have. But he went to bat fully behind Azeez. So did D'Amico yesterday. So if I'm Azeez, I feel good about it. And you're right about the appeal. It probably comes down to 2 games. But if I'm Azeez, I got to be very pumped that this is how the Houston Texans are responding. And if you're the NFL, you're going to have to answer Nick Caserio saying, what are we doing?
Consistency.
Yeah, not only about consistency, but also the way we're phrasing one of our players who was at a United Way event this morning. You're talking about disregard for health and safety and unsportsmanlike. It's like, this is a guy.
They're almost attacking him personally. That's the thing. They're almost attacking him like as a person in your fine letter. That's the tough thing. It's like media people. They say, I will talk about their play on the field. I'm never going to attack them as a person and what they do. That's what people will say if they want to be a journalist or want to be somebody that presents the game to people.
Yeah, but that is never what happens. In this particular time, it's coming from the NFL, you know? And it's I like what's happening with Caserio down there. Once again, don't like the hit, okay? I'm not condoning hit, not condoning outcome, but I like when a team, just like we talked about yesterday with the flag, I like when a team comes out for their team.
Yes.
Like, I like that a lot, including suits.
Yeah,
like Nick Caserio.
love GM, head coach coming out, backing their guys. I'm sure teammates would do the same. We got to remember, man, this is a very violent game, a very, very fast game. And AJ and Bill had a conversation yesterday, like, okay, what do you tell them to do in that situation? Like that, I always talk about that. Quarterbacks are the toughest people to tackle in the open field. We see Mahomes, fake slide, pick it back in college. Like it happens, you tiptoe near the sideline. So I think that also needs to be addressed from the quarterback standpoint as far as sliding and protecting themselves, because it is very, very tough on the defenders. And they put up, kind of Azeez, his former infractions or fines wasn't really big fines. A lot of those things are kind of in the heat of the moment. Once again, it's a fast game, a roughing the passer, a face mask, fighting late hit. Like those, that's football. Obviously, the Trevor Lawrence hit was nasty, and it was amplified even more because of the fight after it, which absolutely should happen.
Which we like.
Yeah, you see that happen. I heard D'Amico Ryan saying, the sideline overreacted. I think that's exactly how he wanted his sideline to react. C.J. Stroud was hit that same way. But at the end of the day, it's a violent game. Things like this are going to happen. Hated the wording of those statements from the NFL. And I'm with AJ. I think he appeals this, and it comes down to 2 games, maybe even 1, hopefully. But as a linebacker, that's the kind of I want a guy like that who's going to toe that line, who's going to play the game. How it's still, in some ways meant to be played. And obviously, you want player safety. And you hope Trevor Lawrence is okay too.
Now, don't look now. Houston Texans just lost their tone setter on defense.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, now's the time.
Yeah.
Now's the time to
Big
go.
one coming up.
There's a chance.
Big win, bye week.
There's a chance. But obviously we don't love this, the way this whole thing went down. Anytime it starts getting like this, not good. Hey, not good for a Shield.
Yeah, it stinks.
It's not good for the Shield. Hopefully it'll get settled. But I do like that a general manager said, I'd like a press conference. Because they don't have to talk till after the season.
Yeah.
GMs don't have to talk at beginning of season. I think they have to have a press conference, or off. I think draft they have to have a meeting with the press. I think there's a preseason one they have to have, and I think there's a postseason one that they have to have.
I didn't know that.
Everybody else, you very rarely, GMs don't have to really talk. It's not like a mandatory. So he definitely had to call that and say, hey, I don't like the way they're talking about the guy that's captain of the team that I am general managing. And I think that shows a lot about who Azeez is behind closed doors down there.
Yeah.
He was at a United Way event this morning.
Yeah.
Just trying to, Hey, John Runyon, I don't know how you spent. Did you sleep in this morning? I hope you got a good. You know what he was doing? Curing cancer.
Yeah.
Helping.
Okay, that's what he was doing this morning. Were you? Is that what you were doing, John? Is that what?
Oh, you weren't.
You know what he did last night? Overnight, no sleep, going in to cure cancer. Built a home. For the homeless people by hand, all the way downtown.
By himself.
By himself. We asked to help. He said, "No, I want to do it myself." This guy's hammering nails. That's basically what Caserio, and I love that. I think everybody's hoping that at some point they have somebody that is in their world going to bat for him like that. So congrats to the Texans seemingly having a very tight culture down there. But look out, the Indianapolis Colts are
I don't know.
Joining us now is a man who I assume will have a take on this because it is quickly becoming a discussion about quarterbacks sliding, how they slide, when are they allowed to slide, can they do the fake slide, Kenny Pickett in college, and then all of a sudden, boom, we're off and running. Fake out of bounds, don't want to hit a guy going out of bounds, but turn that thing right up there.